Good morning, gentlemen. We hope that you are having a good Monday. My name is Moses Morris Mugera. I work at CHIPA, one of the folks on this honorable day. Welcome to the CHIPA admissions. Right now, I'd like to invite you to a breakfast this morning. We will just have our breakfast. Please join us as we have our breakfast, and then we'll come back later with the rest of the program. Thank you. Our guest today, the board.
No, like the card. The card is off.
Chair of the board, Richard, and our chair of the business conduct committee, Richard. Miriam, from welcome you all here, the media, trading participants, custodians, representatives. We are here to witness the admission of Chipan Technologies as a trading participant on the exchange. As you're all aware, the exchange serves different stakeholders, among which are listed companies, trading participants, custodians, registrars, and investors, both institutional and retail. Over the years, from a mutual organization to a public limited liability company, which is a demutualized exchange, and as such has had its rules and regulations and ways of operating changed over the years. What that means is that we moved out from a setting of the mutual organization or NGO structure that ensured that we could now work to not only add efficiency, but ensure that we add value to the platform and the different stakeholders. Since we strategy, our vision, our mission, we have made a lot of changes to the way we operate and the language trading participants as opposed to stockbrokers, because the structure of the exchange has from shareholders now to a management board down to the management team and then the different players that we serve. So as an exchange, we are committed to empowering our customers through service excellence and innovation in order to promote safe, convenient, and sustainable investments. That is our mission. We need to serve you, serve the different stakeholders, and we also focus on human values such as customer focus, efficiency, teamwork, integrity, and execution. Typically, I will speak to innovation. The exchange has evolved over the years, and we are using a lot more technology than we used to use prior. The easy portal that plays a key role in serving the customer and the investor in terms of viewing your statements, customer portfolios, and among others, being able to access more information about the exchange and its information. We have also put in place. No, that's correct. This is much better. Thank you. So, as an exchange, the key words here are integrity,
customer focus, and teamwork. And by having those values and goals, we drive ourselves towards being a very efficient platform that serves the customer. So we are in a world where it is changing, and we've been focusing on innovation and financial inclusion. And hence the admission of Chipper onto the exchange is a testament of this goal to work towards having more partners within the capital markets. And we've also seen the number of brokers on the exchange reduce, but so having a new broker come onto the market is a key testament that there's still value to be provided, but also opportunities within the capital markets. Our team, the legal team internally, plus the board, went through and reviewed the application of Chipper technologies. And when they were able to meet all the requirements that are set out in the rules and regulations, the board approved the admission to the exchange. At the exchange, one of our key goals is to inspire growth, and hence with the growth of listed companies, currently 20 on the exchange, include the bond companies within the fixed income market segment, cross-listed alongside the 10 local companies. The number of investors has reached 130,000 at this point in time. And part of the growth stories we've seen are the improved performance of some of the listed companies, but in terms of their corporate governance, in terms of their performance, in terms of their profitability. So as the exchange team, on behalf of my team, would like to welcome Dan and Chipper Technology, Dan and your team and Chipper Technologies to the exchange. And we look forward to working with you to grow the market, the capital markets, to see more innovation within the exchange ecosystem, but majorly to provide more financial inclusion for the Ugandans within the country to be able to access the numerous investment opportunities within the capital markets. With that, I thank you for listening to me and wish Chipper all the best as a trading participant. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul, for those welcome remarks. I hope Dan and team, you're feeling more comfortable now. The journey for becoming a trading participant or a stockbroker does not start at the exchange. It starts with obtaining permission from the primary market regulator, who is the Capital Markets Authority. And with us here today, we have representatives from the Capital Markets Authority. I'd like the head legal and board affairs, Mrs. Mariam Musali, to make a few remarks on behalf of the primary regulator.
The board chairman, Uganda Securities Exchange, Mr. Richard Byarugaba, the chairperson of the Business Conduct Committee, Ms. Rachel Mindra, the team from Chipper Technologies, Mr. Dan Tumuramya, the CEO of the Uganda Securities Exchange, Mr. Paul Whistle. We thank you all for giving the CMA an opportunity to be here at this event of admission of Chipper Technologies to the exchange. I greet you all this morning. In a special way, I would like to thank the Uganda Securities Exchange for reviewing the application of Chipper Technologies and for finding Chipper Technologies Uganda Limited fit to be admitted as a trading participant of the exchange. I want to congratulate Chipper Technologies for this admission to the exchange. As Alison mentioned, the Capital Markets Authority is key in letting participants join the capital markets industry, and we provided a brokerage license to Chipper Technologies on 26th of August 2021. This license basically permits Cheaper Technologies to buy and sell securities on behalf of clients that desire to access these securities locally. The jurisdiction of the CMA, as most of you would be aware, is limited to our jurisdiction in Uganda. Investors wishing to access stocks in other markets must ensure that brokers they use in those markets are regulated by securities regulators in those markets. We are now in a very modern era of fintech, and stockbrokers are striving to make investments very simple by introducing new age technologies. And I believe that Cheaper Technologies is one of those. And we want to see more integration in terms of finance and technology so that we can serve the investing public much better. Under the Capital Markets Authority Act, CMA has been given a mandate not only to regulate the market, but also to make sure that investors are well protected and that we work together with the industry to develop the capital markets. Key in this is what we call investor education or public education. We believe that we'll be able to work with Cheaper Technologies and all the stockbrokers that are in this room to springboard market vibrancy. The other thing we also hope to see as the capital markets is to see more dealing in the market. The Capital Markets Authority Act was amended in 2016 to provide for dealers. Dealers are able to buy and sell securities on their own account, and that leads to more liquidity in the markets. But we've not seen a lot of success in the dealing space. We are hoping that we will continue the conversation on how best to utilize the dealership license. We want to also alert you that the Capital Markets Authority is currently working with the Ministry of Finance as well as the central bank to make sure that we also reform the secondary market for bonds. We are hoping that we will be able to reform the secondary market for bonds and see some benefits like increased liquidity due to the presence of many buyers, a level playing field, market integrity. We've also done our calculations and we believe that the cost of borrowing for the government can be reduced significantly. The effective cost of borrowing right now is about 15.6%, and this results in a liquidity premium. But if we see more trading in the secondary market, we are hoping that government will be able to save at least 600 billion. So we are really pushing this agenda forward to make sure that we see the benefits of a very vibrant secondary market for bonds. And we are going to be calling upon the industry to help us in these initiatives as we move forward. In terms of legal reforms, the Capital Markets Authority has been undertaking a lot of reform under the Capital Markets Authority Act and the Collective Investment Scheme law. We want to thank all the stakeholders who've been involved. I've seen so many of our stakeholders who've been involved in this process. We've also started a process of amending the Capital Markets Authority Act. Players, you will have areas where you feel the law is not facilitative. So we are calling upon you as stakeholders to join us in the reform so that the law is more facilitative. So we want to encourage stakeholders, including Cheaper, who we are also celebrating with, to abide by the legal frameworks, to abide by directives that have been issued to you by the Capital Markets Authority. We remain committed to the growth and deepening of Uganda's capital markets, and we look forward to admission of even more brokers on the exchanges for God and my country.
Thank you, Miriam, for those remarks, for that message. I believe it is very timely and informative given the various stakeholders that are represented here. And as we move closer to the main event, which is the symbolic ringing of the bell to come cheaper to the market that we want to do. I'd like to invite our chairman board, Mr. Richard Byarugaba, to make his remarks on behalf of the board and the exchange at large, because the board has really been core and center of this admission process. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you, Alison. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having fun. It's the beginning of the week. You shouldn't complain. You've had a good rest. Miriam, who is representing the CMA, Rachel, who is representing the other part of the board that deals with the conduct of business, Paul, who is the CEO, and Dan, who is representing Chipper Technologies, and any other people who are important. Management, well, that's what it says protocol here, so I don't like it, but she forced me to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, and anybody else, on behalf of the Chipper Technologies to the market as a partner of exchange, a partner of other existing market participants, partner of our investing community. So bring on board for us. We like to admit new participants in the market, especially in this demutualized environment, because at the center of this process is technology. We would like to make sure that when you join as a new trading partner, that you're committed to the long-term interests of the market as a whole. As already mentioned, you have a significant part to play to ensure that the products that you offer on the market are spread out, that the structure is secure, that people are putting money in where they know it's safe, and that the long-term interests of the market are well taken care of. So this morning, I hope that by welcoming you into the market, it will be an opportunity to talk about the opportunities that exist within the market. I believe there are three opportunities that exist in the investing market in Uganda, driven by some of the factors. So the opportunity is the dynamic in a couple of the sectors that Uganda operates in. Of course, agriculture is big, we know industry is big, we know services are big. So we hope that by coming in here and emphasizing the need for the fast growth of the economy, that we'll be able to contribute to making sure that there is capital available both from the private sector, but also from the government side, in making sure that people can invest in this market to improve the quality of Uganda. Second one is on the supply side. The free market where capital comes in and out as it wishes, of course, with all the impediments in there. We need our have so in the investment process. That we welcome Chipper on the market because our appeal to people, because they love technology and get involved with it. Which brings me to the third perspective. We need to pay attention to the demographics of our own country. We know that 75% of our people are young. They're below the age of 25. What does it mean? It means that this same population will become extremely rich going forward, but they need to grow rich. They need to grow rich by investing. And that investment partly should come from you investing in the stock exchange. So this is a real opportunity for the market to attract more young people into the stock exchange. In this regard, I cannot overemphasize the need for financial literacy, because a lot of people don't really know what happens at the stock exchange. I keep saying this. There are two industries in Uganda in the financial services that have grown exponentially. One is SACCOs. I know each one of you belongs to a SACCO, at least, or most of you belong to a SACCO. The second one, although not financial, is the betting industry. Every time you go up country, every time you're in Kampala, is that there's a lot of betting shops. And people put their money regardless of whether they have the money or not. That's a story for another day. But the point I wanted to make is that we need to trade to our population. We need to develop the young population, that they should not only invest in SACCOs, they should not only invest, if you call it that, in betting shops, but they should also invest in the stock exchange, because the stock exchange creates wealth in the long run. So ladies and gentlemen, the key ingredients are in place. It would be a tragedy if as a market we're not able to raise to the occasion and tap into these opportunities. And one of the key lessons I have learned is that to grow, you have to keep raising the bar for the customers. And in this case, the investing public. Though better and more efficient products speak to this need, which I know Chipper will bring into here and also participate. Now, we must build capacity. I know we've talked about it in terms of the rules coming in, but we need to build our own capacity, our market capacity. And to understand that these ever-changing needs of our customers and those who seek capital can leverage the market through the data that's available and converting these useful insights in the market into innovations, into products, into things that they can invest in order to provide a return to our investors. Ladies and gentlemen, specifically referring to Chipper Technology as a team, we have here your work is cut out. I just mentioned to Rachel on the side that the heat is on you. Over the past year, the exchange has significantly enhanced its digital capability directly and through strategic partnerships in a bid to further democratize the Uganda Stock Exchange. We want to reiterate our commitment to grow an inclusive market. Everybody really needs to come on board. You know, Paul mentioned that we've got 130,000 investors on a population of 45 million Ugandans. That's a joke, all right? So we need more guys on board. We need more investors in our market. We need more product in our market. And I believe that by adding Chipper services, what's your name? Chipper Technologies on board, that today we will be able to bring in more customers, because I know you've been doing a lot of marketing for your product, especially for the international stocks. But now let's put that marketing effort towards the stocks here in Uganda. And hopefully that will drive the financial inclusion agenda in Uganda. As I complete the exchange, we have grown in leaps and bounds in the area of leveraging technology. With the fourth industrial revolution, we have witnessed the emergence of business development and transaction advisory services that match investors with investees so that we can move funds quickly into Uganda's dynamic investment landscape. On behalf of the board, I want to state our commitment to continue acting as a sounding board for the market whenever it comes to identifying these opportunities and providing the necessary guidance and support to ensure that we can fully embrace them for the growth of the market. Once again, I'd like to congratulate you, Dan, and Cheaper Technologies for achieving this milestone. Welcome to our market, and good luck, because you'll need it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard. I believe that was a perfect sum up of the time check is slightly after 9:30. The market is off now. We'll proceed to invite the Cheaper team supported by will signify their inaugural and Christine and team.
Any orders?
I see Penguin is also around. You are partners, so you can come and support. Penguin is from UFP Financial Services, Joram, SBGS. You don't have your trader's coat, but
all right, and we're going to count down from 3. Is everyone here? Okay, 3, 2, 1, and 0. This is the moment when you clap, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We may take our seats briefly. Right about now, I would like to introduce to you the representation from Cheaper Technologies Uganda Limited. We are such a big team, but we only had a few representing us. And one of those is myself, Moses Morris Mugera. I'm the Growth Marketing Manager at Cheaper. We have Mrs. Christine Muramuzi. You just saw her right there. She's our lead brokerage manager. And finally, we do have Mr. Dan Tumulamye, who is our managing director for Cheaper Technologies Uganda. And without further ado, I'd like to invite Mr. Dan Tumulamye to the stage to give a few remarks. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol observed. I really don't want to make mistakes with people's names. The last I was on an occasion with Mr. Richard Biarugaba. I realized that he's the first and the original. I'll invite him separately. Paul, the CEO of USE, representative from Capital Markets Authority, and the representative from the board of USE. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us to celebrate the acquisition of Cheaper Technologies Uganda, the Uganda Securities Exchange. I know the past have been struggling with this microphone, but I'll survive. Cheaper Technologies Uganda has been admitted as a trading participant and Securities Central Depository Agent. This is a landmark event for us at Cheaper and millions of customers on the platform. A development like this brings us one step closer to achieving our vision to unlock global opportunities. I'll briefly take you through the founding of Cheaper Technologies and give you a small note from our CEO, who is now seated in San Francisco. Cheaper Technologies Uganda started and was established in 2018, and we quickly revolutionized our intra-Africa money transfers with the introduction of free local peer-to-peer. Providing fractionless money cross-border and immediately offering financial inclusion to millions. Today, we are proud to serve more than 4 million people, enabling a largely unbanked and underserved demography to access financial services. Over the past 12 months, we've expanded our reach in the continent by receiving licensing from Uganda, Capital Markets Authority and Bank of Uganda, from Ghana, Bank of Ghana, from Rwanda, Bank of Kigali, and recently from the Reserve Bank of South Africa. We will continue to open up borders, bring quality financial services to life in more countries, and connect more people across the continent. Our CEO mentioned this in a statement. At the core of e-businesses origins stories is people taking an initiative to build products and services they would like to themselves is no different. My co-founder Majid and I set off on a journey to make sending money across and within is possible. We knew the problem was simple, but it's complex. We also knew great of to hello.
This move is all about making people operate within the country and continent and empowering my fellow countrymen and women. I look forward to many good young collaboration with the benefits state and capital markets for us to play our part in driving the balance going forward. My concluding remarks. The U.S. mission to empowering customers with service excellence and innovation is aligned with the providing more trusted and accessible financial services for people living in Uganda, Africa, and beyond. I'm happy to let you know that before the end of this year, investors with Securities Central Depository accounts can safely
from the comfort of their homes or offices. I invite everyone to download the Chipper Cash app to leverage this new opportunity. The requirement to trade are available and will be made available on all platforms and the USE website. Allow me to thank everyone who has made this momentous occasion possible, especially the teams at the Uganda Securities Exchange, Capital Markets Authority. I'm very, very confident that the integration that we are running with Uganda Securities Exchange on the USE portal is going to be concluded by the end of Q4, which is starting in October. We look forward to helping millions of customers to leverage this investment opportunity by owning a part of the publicly traded company in the Pearl of Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tumulamye, for those amazing remarks. Another round of applause to him. We would like to take note of our online audience. We have amazing people that have joined on Zoom. Currently on Zoom, we have over 33 people. Thank you so much for joining this ceremony. And we thank all the others that are joining on YouTube. Right about now, we're going to be welcoming a few questions, 2 or 3 to be precise. Feel free to lift up your hand if you do have a question or comment, and we will give you an opportunity. Thank you. and the offer is going in a few minutes. If you have a question or comment, feel free to raise up your hand and we will give you an opportunity. All right, and with no question, I would like to invite back Alison to give closing remarks. Then the questions are going to come, definitely.
Yes, morning everyone. My name is Ali Twaha and I work with New Vision. Just a comment and a question. Over the last 3 years, we've seen several stockbrokers exit. And I think this question should go to Paul. And I'm happy that Chipper is here, right from the CEO Ham. He's a young man and he seems to think very differently. And I like the disruption that we might see in this market because of Chipper. Most of these other stock brokers that we have in the market, they're a bit traditional. They don't look at things very differently. Let me say that. So I just wanted to know from Paul what they're doing about this issue of stockbrokers exiting, and also the plan to, grow. USE has been here for quite some time, but if you tell us that we have only 130 investors, it's a bit like Mr. Richard said, it's a joke. We need to work on that. The other is I wanted Dan to just give us a sneak peek of what Chipper has in stock for us. I'll be happy to see, because one of your flyers here said you don't need to pay cost fees if you're sending money to, let me say, South Africa. I would be glad to see one where you're telling us we don't have to pay those fees when we are trading. I know we'll come up with something like that, but just quick comments around that. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's have Paul first.
Thank you, Twaha. So yes, we've received, we've had 2 stockbrokers opt to leave the market, and this goes hand in hand with the regulator, Capital Markets Authority, as they start the process of exiting. And the 2 equity stockbrokers and Baroda Capital Markets. And I think notices have been put out in the press during this period. Now, the growth of the numbers, going to your question on investors and the joke. Last year was an that we undertook with MTN Uganda, and specifically MTN Momo, where we saw the number of investors grow from 38,000 to 115,000. And we've seen the continuous growth on that platform. So what we are doing is working with partners and leveraging technology. Currently, there are ongoing projects with Airtel. There are projects ongoing with SBG, Uganda, Chipper Technologies. So we're trying to use technology and different partners to access and open up the market to more investors and to provide the financial inclusion that's required. Yes, it's been slower than required because we believe this role majorly falls with the stockbrokers. But like you mentioned, the disruption is what is required to change the way of accessing the market. And we are starting to see that trend. In addition, the exchange has put in place additional technology on the Easy Portal by putting in place an app. We are going to roll out some more initiatives with the USSD just to ensure that we make it as easy as possible. Of the 75,000 accounts that were opened during the MTN IPO, I would say about 90% of those were using the USSD, which is quite convenient. So we are committed. It's just the beginning of the disruption. We do know that the COVID, the lockdown, and the attraction to the bonds market and the fixed income market and the collective investment scheme provided better returns, but also a home for a lot of money during that period. But what we are working with the central bank at the moment is connecting our CSD to their CSD, and the project is currently in advanced stages, and we believe that by January 2023, investors will be able to trade stocks, bonds, and treasury bills on the exchange. So this innovation of providing products, solutions, but also providing the convenience should be able to ensure that the market grows. And fixed income is a core goal for us. The other area we have expanded into is the commodities. We are piloting right now under our subsidiary, the Commodities Exchange, with a specific warehouse to reach out to farmers. But this will leverage the equities too, because by being able to open an SCDA account and be able to take your commodities into a warehouse, get a receipt, and be able to trade these on the exchange, it creates opportunities for these farmers, but also for investors on the exchange to invest both in equities, commodities, bonds. So the spectrum of products is going to expand. And we will see this being completed again in Q4 and with a rollout in the first season of 2023. So those are the opportunities within the market, but we'll continue to commit and invest in innovation and providing more products on the exchange. The final I'll speak about is that we'll be launching our, what we call a specialist market, the USC specialist market. And that one provides companies that need a stepping stone to come to the exchange. So they don't have to be public. They don't follow specific rules outside the highly regulated environment, but they work with the exchange to put in place the requirements of being able to raise capital, because there are a lot of investors, private equity, even institutions, public institutions that are willing to invest in companies that need capital. So this specialized market will attract companies that will also provide solutions to investors that want to provide patient capital to these companies. Thank you.
I just wanted to emphasize the importance of technology, right? I think that's what really the whole new world is going to be about. So a lot of the companies that you've seen exit the market have been disrupted out of it. It's not that they would have wanted to stay, they've actually been forced out of the market. And that's why we're seeing newer companies which have new thoughts, who have new ideas, who have new technologies coming onto the market. And that's what the whole world is all about, because the dinosaurs will go away, if you really think about it, and we'll get these new guys coming on board. And to me, that is progress. It's progress because it's going to have exponential growth, because that's what these new companies are about. But I think if as a journalist, the issues that you should really push are the new products that Paul has talked about. You know, the stock exchange for commodities, right? That's a big, big deal. I think if you think about it, in Uganda, we will now have commodities. Initially, we are starting off with two commodities, maize and beans, right? Commodities being traded on an exchange. So people who are looking for other investment vehicles, here you are, you can invest in beans and you can invest in maize or whatever they get out of maize, flour, and make money while at it. So new products coming in, you know, tell our customers, tell the public that you have new opportunities to make more money.
Thank you so much, Paul and James. Before you take it down, there are a few more questions to you. One of the people on our online audience is asking, will Ugandans be able to buy stocks on the Chipper app? If yes, when will this be? And then the other one is what is Chipper doing to enhance financial literacy? And as a disclaimer, if you do have your question, please get it written down and forward it to Madam Allison. This applies to the media team too, so that we can have it aired. Yes, Mr. Tumrame.
Thank you very much. I'll start with what is in stock. So as a technology company, we realize that there's a very huge opportunity when it comes to the growth of technology and the influx of wallets that are being created. Now, I'll just give you a small background of what the Ugandan financial inclusion strategy is. So the stats show that 66% of Ugandan adults have financial inclusion. And by the facts of mobile money, we have already 32 million wallets, and 60% of those active month on month. Now, as a technology company, to your question that you raised to Paul on the penetration and the growth of SCD accounts and investor base in Uganda, we think that the accessibility awareness is very critical to make sure that we close that gap. We all know that mobile money was not a thing the last 10 years, but today mobile money is a neobank. So as a technology company, we're sure that we've been in the business for 3 years and you're already hitting 5 million customers. So the reason, and one of the business propositions to the Uganda Securities Exchange was the fact that we would enable all Ugandans of walks of life to create an investment account, which is an SCD account, on the platform. Now, once you create that account, which is creation is very free, fortunately, for people who have not invested yet, the key requirements, or what we call KYC, is very basic. Your national ID is enough to create a securities central depository account. Now, we already have that with the wallets that are created through mobile money. And we're thinking that we would be the best positioned brokers to make sure that we go out to the market and spread that gospel. When it comes to the settlements, we've realized that initially and traditionally, like Biargawa said, is that the traditional investor today has to have a bank account, has to go to the bank to place the orders, both for buy and sell. And we're saying through integration of both the mobile money network and the banking ecosystem, we already have a partner in the digital payment space, which is Agency Banking Company, that has connected at least 22 tier 1 commercial banks out of the 26. That is a very good opportunity for us to tap in to make sure that at onboarding of your investment platform at the USE portal, you can include both your mobile money and your bank account. So that is going to give us very good penetration. And I'm very confident that that will give us very good mileage when it comes to penetrating the market. Then, so how ready is that product? Currently, we are at 80% completion of the integration. The Ugandans are going to be able to place both buy and sell and receive their dividends on the Chipper app and decide on the termination. Termination is where do you want to be paid? Do you want to be paid on your mobile money wallet, or do you want to be paid in the bank? So that should be ready by end of Q4, which is December. We should be ready and putting out on the market. And we shall invite you at the launch of this solution. Then another opportunity that we want to leverage on is the fact that the capital markets of East Africa want to create a common market. And Chipper Cash is placed in such a position where we are the right product, or we're the right brokers to push out that message. For all who didn't know, if you realize the recent MTN IPO, there was an invitation of East African foreigners, what we call people from East Africa, from Nairobi, from Tanzania, from Rwanda, and that is where our footprint is. Currently, we are in 7 African countries, and we're saying we're able to push this message of getting both foreign investors, individual, and foreign investors, institution, so that we grow this market together. East Africa is growing as a block, and if I don't want to derail a lot if you look at NSSF today, I don't think they invest. If you're aware, if you look at their portfolio, they don't only invest in Uganda on behalf of their customers. They also look for opportunities abroad. So Chipper Cash is placed to make sure that we tap into that opportunity and we make that solution ready for the local Ugandans and those foreigners in this market. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan. As other questions come in, there's one that is going to Miriam from the Capital Markets Authority. Someone is asking, what is the Capital Markets Authority doing to support in the increase of the number of brokers on the Uganda Security Exchange? So I think the question is there any initiative you have in place, probably with the to increase the number of brokers? Over to you, Miriam.
Thank you very much. In terms of our involvement in increasing number of brokers, I'll start by saying we've also been concerned as a Capital Markets Authority with the closure of brokerage firms. And that has caused us to look at the policies, to look at the laws, to be more facilitative, even in our supervisory approach, to really add what is the closure of farms. The other thing we are doing is to make sure that we invest a lot of effort in public education. Because as a broker, if you have no orders, how are you going to generate revenue? So we all have a part to play as the investors. Investors that are going to encourage the plans of these services. So the Capital Markets Authority initiative into investor education. We are working with a number of resources. These resources actually from the brokerage community. And whenever we go and talk about capital markets, we actually go with market intermediaries who can immediately open brokerage accounts, who can immediately translate that public education into an SCD account, and that there is action, immediate action. So those are some of our initiatives, and we are calling upon the investing public. When we see more products on the market, when we see more players coming into our market, we are calling upon you to trust that this is an industry that is regulated. It's an industry that is protected. It's an industry that has a securities regulator that belongs to IASCO. IASCO is the International Organization of Securities Commissions. So we are recognized internationally as a securities regulator. So when you put your money into any of the licensed firms in order for them to buy and sell securities, it's protected. So we want to work with the public to deepen, grow, and develop our markets. Let's do this together.
Thank you so much, Miriam. I would like to open it up again. If you do have any question.
Moses, apologies.
Yes.
There was a question that what are we going to do to increase financial inclusion and financial literacy? One of our agenda and strategies is to make sure that we do what we call joint marketing strategies. The USE already has a university program that is running. And Paul, I'm here to tell you confidently that we're jumping on that university plan. No one has done financial literacy, saving and investment solutions and education like the NSSF. So Mr. MD and our board chairman, Chipper Technologies is coming to join you on that journey of financial literacy. And we want to come out strong. But we also want to position and place the investment opportunities for all Ugandans. We're asking ourselves, where is the right market for us to get more SCD accounts? And I was discussing it with Paul, and we said, at the convocation or the graduation ceremony of any student in Uganda, that is the time where someone should at least create their wallet. Another opportunity is at your first payroll, because investment is a mindset. You understand? When you're receiving your first salary, you need to do, I know it's very tricky, but you need to know how to apportion your salary at the payroll. So we're saying we should be at that point where someone is receiving their first salary and they're making plans for the future for their money. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dan. The other one goes to Dr. Rachel. You know, with the outcry to increase the number of trading participants, the public would want to know, what do we have in place to preserve the quality of our trading participants and the general business conduct?
Thank you, Moses. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Ours is to ensure discipline. Discipline, but also to create an enabling environment for growth, to deepen and broaden. And we've been very, very deliberate in terms of course, we have the rules, and those will not be bypassed. We also have the stick that disciplines those who have bad behavior, but we also have expanded our thinking and reasoning, and also gotten as much information as possible from the different segments as well as the brokers on what are the needs, what is trending, what is going to make the exchange thrive, what is going to make us grow, and we're making comparisons with the global markets. So I want to say that we've created an environment that is enabling, an environment that is welcoming to brokers like Cheaper Technologies to come and try out the market, because there's an opportunity there. We have a large population. We have a population that is being pushed to adopt technology. We need to place ourselves and tap into that market. So as an exchange or as the business conduct committee, we are out to support growth, but also to create discipline and good practice in the market. So we are here, and like my board chairman has said, we're here to enable growth, to see the exchange comparable to the NYE, to the JSE, to the Nairobi Stock Exchange. Why shouldn't we get there? And we have to create room for such companies to come and test their products and serve the market, but in a very disciplined manner. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Keywords there, in a very disciplined manner, means a lot. A final one for now goes to Mr. Richard Byarugaba. And someone is asking, with the common market in place, what are we doing to offer exposure for the USE within the common market?
So we belong to the Association of Stock Exchanges within the region. We have a lot of programs that we run with the Nairobi Stock Exchange, the Dar Stock Exchange, and the one in Kigali. So in that way, we keep in touch with the market. But more importantly, we've got partnerships both on the brokerages side, partnerships on the technology side. I believe that most of our service providers also provide services to the other exchanges within the region, and that gives us good reach. But if you look at the profile of our investors as well, you notice that many of them, although our majority tends to be local, but there's quite a lot of institutional investors and other investors outside of Uganda. And we believe that that is part of the reason that we need to continue to them. But at the end of the day, perform keep improving in order to attract those new opportunities. I believe that, for example, join as broker because of the extensive coverage in the other markets, the other 7 African countries that he's talked about. You will notice that that will give us that impetus to show that we can even be able to do business with the people who are outside of Uganda.
Thank you so much, Mr. Byarugaba. And on that note, we would like to thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for attending this honorable ceremony. And I want to invite Alison back to offer closing remarks.
Thank you, Moses. I don't really have closing remarks, save to thank everyone who has attended this morning. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being part of this interactive engagement as we welcome Chipper to the market. Thank you to the board, management, USC and the Chipper team, and CMF for gracing this occasion. And we look forward to engaging with Chipper on behalf of the staff of the exchange. We are ready to support you and make sure that your operations go smooth and guide you through navigating the rules. And I know the different brokers, some of who are represented here today, have intimated that they are happy to welcome you on board and partner with you and work with you to execute the orders that I hope will come through starting effective today. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I wish you a lovely day and a good week.